Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I am going to be doing my 2 looks 1 palette video with the BeBella Cosmetics Lotus Love palette. So if you did not see, I did do a first impressions video with this palette along with the other 3 from the collection. And in that video I mentioned that I wanted to do 2 looks with this palette because I just had so many ideas of looks I wanted to create, so that is what we are going to be doing today. So if that interests you all, then keep on watching. The first shade I want to take is Soft Sage, and I'm taking this on a pretty small little blending brush. It's going to be a pretty tightly packed blending brush because I want to be able to pack this color down as well. So I'm starting with this right in the inner portion of the crease and getting onto the lid slightly. I want this inner half of my lid to really be taken up with this color mostly. So I'm just starting by packing this shade down, and then I will of course go and blend it out. The shade does seem to be packing down pretty nicely. I feel like it's not as bright as it looks in the pan, but it does still have a nice pigmentation, so I am liking that. So once I have that more packed on the lid, I'm going to take what's left on the brush and just start slowly blending it out. This palette doesn't really have a lighter greeny shade to blend the shade out with, so I'm just trying to be really light with the shade that I already have to blend this out. And like I said, I'm just going kind of halfway through my crease and my lid, and then I'll put another color in the outer portion. The next shade I want to take is Supreme Lotus, and this is on a pretty similar brush, just a nice little small blending brush. And I'm going to use this one in the outer corner, and the shade is already super pigmented. This was one I was pretty sure was going to be pigmented just from the swatches of it, which I posted pictures of the swatches on my Instagram if you want to go check those out. It was a couple weeks ago now, but if you just scroll down on the feed, I'm sure you will find them. But this one had just swatched out really nicely, and I was super impressed. And it seems to be translating into actually using the shade. So I'm bringing this one right up to where the Soft Sage color is, but I'm not going in and blending the two yet. I just want to lay this color down ahead of time, and then I will get to the actual blend. The next shade I want to take is Lush Blush, and this is going to help blend out the pink shade in the outer portion of the crease. I just want to soften up the edges just a little bit and work on blowing the shade out a little. So I'm really just focusing this in this outer portion of the crease and blending just outwards. The next shade I'm going to take is Rebirth right here. And I'm just barely tapping my brush into this, but I want to use this to slightly help the blend between the two shades that are on my lid. Just because the two shades are going to make purple anyway, so I just wanted a little bit of purple to help with the blend. And I'm going to go back and forth with all three of the shades you are going to see here, just so we get the best blend possible. So I'm going to go back in with Soft Sage. And start working that over the edges of where these two meet. And then, of course, going back in with Supreme Lotus as well. Just to get this nice gradient from the bluey green shade to the pink. Alright, the next shade I want to take is Luck. And this one is going to go in my inner corner to help brighten. I feel like this look isn't as bright as I was hoping it would be. I was expecting the shades on the lid to be a little more bright and fun, but I feel like they kind of, I don't want to say muddied out a little bit, but they definitely aren't as bright and vibrant as they look in the pan, especially the sage color that's on the first half of the lid. So I just want to add this in and run this along my lower lash line as well, just to add in a little brightness to the look. Alright, so here is what the look is looking like. I am going to go add some mascara and I will be right back. Alright, so here is the final look. And for this look, I used my Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extension Mascara. So I really liked the idea of this look, but I feel like the actual execution leaves a little to be desired. I just don't know if these shades are meant to be blended together. I feel like it looks better in person than it's picking up on camera right now. But you can see just it's not as vibrant and bright on the lid as I would have liked it to be. And I don't know if you can see, but in this outer corner, I feel like it got a little bit patchy. And that could just be the concealer that I put down and trying to blend on top of that. So I definitely want to play around with that some more. I'm not saying this palette is bad in any way. I'm not saying these shades didn't perform good. Just the actual execution of this look, I feel like could take a little bit more work. But it's definitely one that I do want to still play around with because I do really like this palette from the shades that I have tested. But this look just didn't execute as well as I was hoping it would. So I hope that makes sense. And let me know what you guys think of this look down below. But I definitely want to try it again some other time and maybe switch up the concealer, switch up the base I used, and just work on blending it a little more. But with all of that said, we are going to do a second look in this video, so be sure to stay tuned for that, and we can just jump right in. Alright, the first shade I want to take for the second look is Fresh right here. And I'm just taking this on a regular fluffy brush, and I'm going to start just running this through the crease like I usually do. And this is a really light shade, so it is going to take a little bit of building, but I personally don't mind having to build up my shades. I like when I can bring them to the desired pigmentation that I want. And it does seem to be building up pretty nicely. It is a little bit lighter than I would like, but that's okay. The next shade I want to take is Marvelous. And this one looks like a really beautiful pinky tone, but it's not overly bright. It just has a nice softer undertone. And I feel like this will be a good one to use for an everyday look. And once again, this one does seem to be taking up some building up, which is fine. As long as my shades can get to a good pigmentation, I don't really mind having to build them up. And I am trying to be a little more careful when blending some shades together. Just after the first look, I just want to make sure that everything gets nice and blended. We don't have any patchiness, and it just looks good. But I feel like these pink shades will blend nicely together. I feel like just the blending of the greenish shade with the pinks didn't really work as well as I was hoping, but that's okay. I'm just gonna keep playing around with this palette and see how I can make it work. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of Fresh and just blend out the top edges of the crease. The next shade I want to take is Muddy, and this is one of the deepest shades in this palette, and I want to start focusing this right in the outer corner, running it into my crease and then also running it on to the lid a little bit. And this one is on a little bit of a fluffier brush to blend it into the crease, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and pack some of this on to the outer portion of the lid as well, just so we get a nice deep pigmentation in the outer corner. But I just really want to try and work on building this up out here and then blending it in with the crease shades a little. And I am going to go back and forth with the crease shades and this shade until we get a nice blended look. Alright, then on a small little packing brush, I'm going to take that same shade and just really focus this right on the outer portion of the lid and just build this color up as best I can. I've said this before with these palettes, but the shades do not perform as deep on the eye as they look in the pan. So that is just something to note. You will not get the full pigmentation of the shade as it looks in the pan, but I do think they do build up to be a fairly nice pigmentation. The next shade I want to take is Water Lily right here, and I'm going to first try this on a brush and see how it performs. And I'm just going to start packing this right in the inner portion of the lid. These are going to be somewhat similar looks, I guess, but I really wanted to test out this shimmer shade as well as that soft sage shade from the last look. So the color combinations are going to be similar between these two looks, but the actual look is going to be a little different because this one has the nice shimmer in it. And this does seem to be packing on pretty nicely with a brush. which I'm really happy about because I can use my finger, but I just prefer when shimmers can pack on with a brush and a dry brush too. It just makes it a lot easier to use, in my opinion. I can be a little bit more precise with a brush than I can with my finger. And I'm loving what this shade is looking like. I want to also take a little bit of Flower Bomb right here. And I'm going to pack this right where the shimmer meets the outer corner, just to help the transition between these a little bit. And just add a little bit more shimmer because I'm liking what these shimmers look like. So I'm just doing some light tapping motions on the lid to pack the shade down. I don't want to drag too much. I just want to place the shimmer right where I want it to go. Like so. Alright, then for the lower lash line, I'm going to start with Muddy and just kind of focus on the outer portion of the lower lash line. And then I will go ahead and go in with Marvelous and Fresh to help blend out and just match what we did right up in the crease. And just really get a nice blended look. Then for the inner corner, I want to take the shade Purity and just use this to brighten up right in the inner corner. And this is a really beautiful shade for an inner corner highlight. So that will do it for this look. I'm going to go add some mascara and I will be right back with some final thoughts. Alright, here is the final look. And I did use my Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extension Mascara for this one. I definitely like how this look turned out more than the first one. I think these shimmers on the lid are super pretty and they just performed really well. For the first look, I just couldn't get that blend to look good and I couldn't get it as vibrant as I had wanted it to be, but I do think I definitely need to play around with this palette some more and keep testing it out. I've only used it a few times now and I definitely am still inspired to use this palette a bunch more and create some more looks with it. Let me know what you think of these two looks down below, which one you liked better, and be sure to also let me know what else you would like to see from me. I would love to hear your guys' suggestions. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. And with that, I will see you all in my next video. Bye!